Good morning to all. In today's class, we will discuss inheritance. In the last class, I explained a program without inheritance. Okay. So in this program, we have taken 4 classes. They are manager, accountant, attender, and test. So inside these 3 classes, that is manager, accountant, and attender, we have written the same code. That is 3 instance variables and 1 method, that is get employee details. So the same code, okay, we have written in all the 3 classes. That is manager, accountant, and attender. So after that, what we have done, we have taken one more class test. Inside that, we have written main method. Inside that class, we have written one object for each class. That is, this is the object for manager class, and this is for account class, and this is for attender class. When this statement is executed, this constructor is executed. That is, inside the manager class, this constructor is, that is default constructor is provided by the compiler. Okay, means this constructor is executed and default values are assigned for 3 instance variables based on the data type. That's why inside manager class object, in the instance variables are assigned default values. That is, employee ID is assigned 0, and employee name is assigned null, and employee salary is assigned 0.0f. Like that, after creating the manager object, so what we are doing, we are invoking get employee details of manager class. So this method will print the details of the manager class object as output. That is, the values are 0, null, and 0.0. Similarly, I have created object for account class. Here account class default constructor is executed, which will also assign default values to all the 3 instance variables of account class. And when you invoke the get employee details method of account class, so you will get the same output, that is 0, null, and 0.0. Similarly, I have created one object for attender class. Again, here in this statement, attender class default constructor is invoked, which will assign default values for the 3 instance variables of attender class. So next, with this reference variable, I am invoking the get employee details of attender class. So what this method will do is, it will print the details of this attender class, that is the values of the instance variables of the attender class as output. So here also this statement will give you the output as 0, null, and 0.0. So here actually the output is 3 statements, that is first one is 0, null, 0.0. This is manager class details. Next again 0, null, and 0.0. And the third one also 0, null, and 0.0. So here the output will be 3 times, you will get the same output, because 3 times the default constructor only will be executed for both for manager class, account class, and attender class. That's why for all the 3 objects, only default values are stored, are assigned to the instance variables by default constructors. Okay, this is the program without inheritance. So what is the drawback of this program is, we are writing the same code, that is this code, that is 3 instance variables and this method get employee details. The same code we are writing in manager class and accountant class and attender class. Okay, so instead of writing the same code in 3 classes, what I will do is, I will take only one class, that is the generalized class. Let us take the name of that generalized class as employee. Okay, in that employee class, I will write this code. After that, what I will do is, I will take 3 more classes, manager, accountant, and attender, and these 3 classes are extending that employee class. Okay, so using extends keyword means we are using inheritance now. So instead of writing the same code again and again in each class, what I will do is, okay, I will modify the same program. You will get the same output. Okay. So how I will modify is, I will take the generalized class as employee, and in that I will take these three instance variables and the same get employee details method. Okay, instead of writing in three classes, I will write the same code in one class. That is, in class employee I will write. After that, what I will do is, I will take manager class, accountant class and attender class, and these three classes are extending this employee class. Okay, how this manager class extends this employee class is using extends keyword. So how do we write? Syntax is class manager extends employee. Similarly, class accountant extends employee. Similarly, class attender extends employee. Okay, now what is the advantage of using extends keyword? Okay, that is, the entire code of this employee class is inherited to this manager class. Okay, that is the advantage of using inheritance. Okay, here in this case, employee is called superclass and manager is called subclass. So here superclass is only one, but in this diagram we have three subclasses. They are manager, accountant and attender. Okay, so all these three classes are extending the same superclass, that is employee. So in this diagram, this is the diagram for inheritance. This is upward arrow. So here employee is superclass and the subclasses of this employee superclass are manager, accountant and attender. So here we have only one superclass, that is employee, and three subclasses, they are manager, accountant and attender. So here when we use inheritance, so without or no need to write the same code in each and every class. So I will write the code once in the employee class. But when you use extends keyword, that is class manager extends employee, means the entire code of this employee class is inherited to manager class. Again in this diagram, it is inherited to accountant class and it is also inherited to attender class. But we have written the code only once in the employee class. But all the three classes are using the same code which is there in employee class. But if you observe the previous program, in each and every class we are writing the same code. There we have written 3 times the same code, okay, in each of these three classes. But here I am writing the code only once. Even though we are writing the same code only once in employee class, these three classes are using the same code. Okay, that is the advantage of inheritance. Instead of writing 3 times, here we are writing only once. Okay, you will get the output also same. Now we will see. So I will explain about subclass. So here manager is called subclass because it is extending this employee class. That's why employee class is called superclass and manager class is called subclass. Or we can take it as parent class and this is child class. But in Java we use superclass and subclass. With respect to this terminology only, we will do inheritance. If in case of this C++ programming language, this is called base class, this is called derived class. Okay, but in Java we use superclass and subclass. Next after that I will explain. So here manager is a subclass of this employee class. Means here in employee class we have 3 instance variables and 1 method. No? But all these 3 instance variables and this method is inherited to this manager class. So here I have written at the end inherited code. 3 instance variables and 1 method of employee class are inherited to manager class. That's why here I have written this is inherited code. In addition to the inherited code, the manager class can write its own code. Means the code which is specific to manager, that can be written in manager class, and the code which is specific to accountant, that can be written in account class in addition to the inherited code. See, this code is inherited to all the three classes: manager class, accountant class, and attender class. In addition to the inherited code, each class can write its own code. That is the advantage of subclass. So subclass contains superclass code as well as its own code. Okay, but superclass consists of only this code, but subclass consists of superclass code as well as its own code. So what is the own code for manager class? Here is one parameterized constructor is there in subclass manager, and one method is there. What is that method? Method name is get manager details. These two are specific to this manager class. Okay, that's why this code is owned to manager class. So manager class is a subclass. Okay, and it consists of its own code as well as inherited code. So understand like this. Similarly, if you take subclass accountant, it is also having its own code as well as inherited code. Similarly for attender class also. So if you see manager class, which is a subclass of employee, so this subclass consists of its own code, that is one parameterized constructor and one own method, that is get manager details, and also the inherited code is 3 instance variables and get employee details. So if you see the manager class, how do we describe the manager class? Is it consists of 3 instance variables, that is state part, and it consists of behavior part, that is one parameterized constructor and 2 methods. Okay, so this is the code inside manager class. So this is the concept of inheritance, superclass and subclass. So here you will get code reusability. Without writing the same code again and again in each class, we will write the common code in only one class, and that common code is inherited to all its subclasses. Common code we will write in the superclass. Okay, and specific code we can write in subclasses. Next, so if you take here 3 instance variables, manager class contains 3 instance variables, one parameterized constructor and 2 methods. Okay, next we will write the program for this one. Okay, for this structure we will write the program. First, which class we should write? Superclass. That's why first I will take class employee. Inside that I will declare 3 instance variables and I will write one method. That's it. After that I will take class manager extends employee. In that I will add one parameterized constructor and one get manager details method. In the same way, I will take accountant class and I will write one parameterized constructor and one method, that is get accountant details, because this method is specific to this subclass. That's why put the name manager. In this write get accountant details. Similarly, attender class also own code is one parameterized constructor and one method, that is get attender details. Okay, so here the get manager details is specific to this manager class, and get accountant details is specific to this accountant class, and get attender details is specific to this attender class. And in addition to that method, we will write one parameterized constructor which is specific to manager class, and which is specific to accountant class, and which is specific to attender class. So with this scenario or diagram, we will write the program. So whenever you write inheritance programs, first draw the structure like this. After that, write the program. Okay, we will write a program with inheritance. Okay, now class employee, now 3 instance variables and one method, that is get employee details. Get employee is the generalized term for all the employees. Okay, that's why get EMP details. This is a method. So the same code I have written in class employee. This code I have written in the previous program in 3 classes: manager, attender, and accountant. But here I am writing the same code in only one class, that is employee. This class is called superclass. Next, after that, what I will do is I will take 3 more classes: manager, accountant, and attender. So here I have taken, I think, only 2 classes. Minimum 2 classes take to understand the concept. Here I have not taken attender class. Okay. Now I will explain subclass concept. So here class employee is superclass. Next. So class manager extends employee. We use extends keyword in inheritance. Okay. So this manager is called subclass. This employee is called superclass. Means the entire code of superclass is inherited to this class. Means please assume that all the 3 instance variables and one method, that is get emp details. All the instance variables and that method of employee are inherited to this class. So assume that the 3 instance variables are available in this class and get emp details method is available for this class. Okay. After that, in this manager class, we are writing the code which is specific to manager. So what is that code? One constructor, that is manager constructor, and one method, that is get manager details. So you know how do we write, how do we write the parameterized constructor? No? Already explained in depth about constructors. So here how many instance variables are inherited? Employee ID, employee name, and employee salary. These 3 variables are available for this class. So the purpose of this parameterized constructor is to initialize the instance variables of this manager class. So how do we initialize? Here I am using the parameter names and instance variable names are same. That's why you know this code. I already explained in depth. So manager, this is manager class constructor, because the name of the constructor and name of the class is same. It is taking 3 parameters. Why? Because here through this constructor we have to initialize 3 instance variables. So take 3 parameters with the same data types of instance variables, and here we are using the same names now. That's why using this. So this already manager class. Next, what is the next method? Get manager details. So this is the method which is specific to manager class. What is the purpose of this method is we are printing manager details in this method. That's why I have written system.out.println manager details. It is printed in the output. After that, one line is there. After that, here they observe this statement. So here what I have written, get emp details. See, this is the invocation of get emp details. Where this method is available? From this. Okay, the control goes to get emp details. Already explained. So the 3 instance variables and get emp details method is available for this class. Means get emp details method is actually we have written in the superclass, that is employee. But because of inheritance, this entire code is available to this manager class. So assume that 3 instance variables and this get emp details code is available for this class manager. That's why get emp details is a method which is there in manager class. So from this get manager details, we can invoke that get emp details because it is there in the same class. Please assume like that. Now from this it will go to the get emp details method and it will execute that method. So here in Java or in any C language, inside one method definition, we can invoke any number of methods. But inside one method definition, we can't write again the method definitions. But we can invoke any number of methods. This is the method invocation of get emp details. Okay. So from this, the control goes to the get emp details. We have written the code here now. This is there in manager class. That's why it will execute this code because it is available for manager class. Okay. So get employee details method is executed whenever this statement is executed. Okay. So with this get manager details method is completed. So inside the manager, I have written parameterized constructor and one method, that is get manager details. through this method, I am invoking get EMP details, which will display the details of the manager. Okay. Similarly, in the same way, I will write accountant class. So class accountant extends employee. Again, I will write parameterized constructor for accountant, which will initialize the instance variables of the accountant class. So because it is extending employee class, that's why all the 3 instance variables are available for this class. That's why I want to initialize the 3 instance variables of accountant class using parameterized constructor. Okay, that's what this is the initialization of the instance variables using parameterized constructor. Next, after that, I will write the own method that is specific to accountant class. So what is that method name? Get accountant details. Okay, in the same way, what I will write? First statement, accountant details. This is printed as it is. Next, this line is printed after this line. Next, from this get accountant details method, I am invoking get EMP details. So which method is invoked? This method is invoked. So we have not written get EMP details method in the manager class and in accountant class, but we are using this method. How means? Because of inheritance. Now you can understand the importance of inheritance. The main advantage of using inheritance is code reusability. Without writing the same code again and again, we will write that code only once in one class and we will use the same code in any number of classes. Okay. Now, so we have written one superclass and 2 subclasses. After that, we have to create objects for the classes to access the members of those classes. No, same concept. Class test main method. Inside the main method, here I have created objects for subclasses only. See, whenever you use inheritance, there is no use of creating objects for superclass, because superclass contains only the code that is specific to superclass. But if you create the objects for subclasses, then we can access the superclass code as well as subclass code. That's why always in inheritance, give priority to subclasses. Means always create objects to subclasses, because subclasses contain its own code. Subclass contains its own code as well as its superclass code. That's why here I will create objects for only subclasses. Now, so first subclass is manager. So how do we create object for subclasses? Because in manager class I have written the parameterized constructor. Already explained the parameterized constructor in depth. So here I have in manager class I have written the parameterized constructor with 3 parameters. So how do I invoke this parameterized constructor is at the time of creation of objects, because constructors are executed at the time of creation of objects. Okay. Now how do I create object for manager classes? Manager M1 is equal to new manager of, I will send the values to those, I will send the values to the 3 parameters which are there in the parameterized constructor. Okay. In the same order, we have to send the values. That's why this is employee ID, this is employee name and employee salary. So I am sending these 3 values. So whenever this statement is executed, okay, the JVM will execute the matching constructor. So what is the matching constructor for that is, this is the matching constructor. So through this parameterized constructor, we are initializing the instance variables of this manager class object. So here this right hand side part is called object creation. So inside the heap memory, one object is created. Inside that object only instance variables are stored. That's why employee ID, employee name and employee salary are stored. So the values are assigned for these instance variables inside the object through this constructor. That's why inside the object, employee ID is assigned 101 and the name is Arjun and the salary is 50,000.0. Okay, like that one object is created for manager class and the address of that object is stored in this M1. Next, after that, so this statement is completed. After that, on that object, I am invoking get manager details. So from this, it goes to the get manager details of manager class. Now this method will be executed. So here the output is manager details, next dash dash dash. Next, the third statement is it will invoke get employee details. So what is there in get employee details? So here the output is after that employee ID is, what is the value? 101, and employee name is, some name is there, no? And employee salary is 50,000.0. So you will get the output as manager details followed by this dashed line. After that you will get the output is, what are the values here? This one. So employee ID is 101, employee name is Arjun, and employee salary is 50,000.0. Using which method these values are printed as output is using get employee details. So this method is completed. Okay. Now this statement is completed. That is M1 dot get manager details, which will print the details of employee ID, employee name, and employee salary of manager. Okay. Next, after that, this is the first subclass object creation, and after that, using that object, that reference variable, I am accessing the get manager details method of manager class. Okay. Next, in the same way, I will create object for accountant class, and with that reference variable, I will access the method that is get accountant details method of accountant class. Same way. Here also, I have written in accountant class, I have written parameterized constructor now to initialize the instance variables of the object. That's why I have to invoke the parameterized constructor like this. From this, the control goes to the parameterized constructor of accountant class. This is executed, and after the execution of that one, inside the memory, one object is created with the new operator. Inside that, employee ID is assigned 200, and employee name is this, and employee salary is this. After that, I am printing the contents of that accountant object using this method, that is A1 dot get accountant details. Again, it will go to this method. It will give you the output as accountant details followed by this dashed line. Again, we are invoking get employee details. It will execute the get employee details method. So the output is employee ID, employee name, and employee salary of accountant object, means accountant class object. So you'll get the output as employee ID is 200, employee name is this, and employee salary is this. So this is a program on inheritance. Here I have taken one superclass, that is employee, and one subclass, two subclasses, they are manager and accountant. So this is the output. This is using manager class method, I am printing this, and this is using accountant class method, I am printing these values. This is the output. Here again, how to save the file is same, test.java, and compilation is also same, Java C test.java, and execution is Java test. Okay, you will get the output like this. Okay. So till now we have written a program on inheritance, and we understood that how the code is reusable to inheritance. Now after that we will see the types of inheritance. So here we will see which types are supported by Java and which are not supported by Java. Okay. So here first types of inheritance, very important for exam point of view. So first one is here, it will support only 3 types, that is single level inheritance. Next, second is multi-level inheritance, and third is hierarchical inheritance. If you take C++ language, it supports multiple inheritance and hybrid inheritance also. But Java does not support multiple inheritance and hybrid inheritance. Okay, that's why you have to write Java supports only 3 types: single level inheritance, multi-level inheritance, and hierarchical inheritance. And Java does not support multiple inheritance and hybrid inheritance. Okay. Now we will see. So what is single level inheritance? Single level inheritance means only one level. This one arrow is called one level. So here I have one superclass and one subclass. So in single level inheritance, I have taken one superclass and one subclass. Okay. So the process of what is inheritance? The process of getting variables and methods from one superclass to one or more subclasses is called single level inheritance. Means I can take here any number of subclasses, but superclass is only one. Okay, if you take examples, this is single level inheritance. This is also called single level inheritance. Here one superclass and one subclass. Okay, what is inheritance here? The process of getting variables and methods, okay, of this animal class to one subclass. Here we have taken only one subclass. In the same way, the second example is here I am taking more than one subclass. That is, here we have 3 subclasses and one superclass. So each and every subclass can inherit the variables and methods of its superclass. So car extends vehicle, lorry extends vehicle, and bus also extends vehicle. Here cow extends animal. Here all these are real-time scenarios. You know, animal is the generalized word. So if you write the generalized properties in animal class, and here if you take subclass cow, so this because of this inheritance, that is cow extends animal, no? So all the generalized properties of animals we will write in animal class, no? So the entire code of animal class is inherited to cow, and cow has its own properties. So in subclass cow, we have the properties of the animal class and the properties of this cow class. Okay, like that we will write. This is the generalized one and this is the specific one. Like here also vehicle is the generalized one. In vehicle class, I will write the properties which are useful for any vehicle like car, lorry and bus. And when you write the car class, I will write only the specific properties which are related to only car. Like that, only lorry, only bus. But car class, because class car extends vehicle, no? That's why all the properties of this vehicle are inherited to this car class. In addition to that vehicle class code, car class contains its own code. Okay, that's why subclass contains its own code as well as its superclass code. Okay, all these are real-time scenarios. This is single level inheritance. In single level inheritance, only one superclass and one or more than one subclass. Next here, what is the second one? Multi-level inheritance. Means here I have taken, this is one level and this is another level. That's why it is called multi-level inheritance. We can take any number of levels in multi-level inheritance. But in single level inheritance, only one level. Here, what is the meaning of this? Class B extends class A. Okay, now here class B is a subclass of A. Now in B class, it contains its own code as well as A's code. Okay, next, what about this C? Now C extends D. Class C extends D. Means C contains its own code and B's code as well as A's code also. Because for C, immediate superclass is D. But again for B, the superclass is A, no? That's why in class C, we have the code for this B, A and C. See here it is A. So B's code plus A's code and own code. Here it is not C. Okay, that is the advantage of multi-level inheritance. Okay, so here class C contains its own code as well as B's code and A's code. But class B contains its own code and A's code only. Like that, we can extend the number of levels. Next examples. See, computer is the more. This is computer, then laptop, then specific. Which company? Dell. This is the most generalized one. Next generalized one is this one. Next is this. Like that, we can write like this in multi-level inheritance. Here, if you take this also multi-level, animal, next dog. In dog, we have specific dogs, no? Write the specific dogs in this last level. So this is also multi-level inheritance. Okay, next. hierarchical inheritance. Hierarchical inheritance means we will take the single level inheritance and multi-level inheritance and we will write in a hierarchical fashion, means hierarchical tree structure. See, animal, again domestic, wild, means the animal is the superclass and for animal class these are the two subclasses. After that, this is a superclass and these three are the subclasses for this. So this is multi-level. Okay, like that, this is called hierarchical inheritance. So Java supports only three types of inheritances. They are single level inheritance, multi-level inheritance, and hierarchical inheritance. We will write one program on each type. Next, Java does not support multiple inheritance. What is the meaning of multiple inheritance is, here if you observe, A extends B and A is also extending C. So means A is the subclass, B and C are the superclasses. Here in Java, suppose if you write the syntax for this one, class A, this is subclass, no? Class A extends B and C or B comma C. So this is not correct in case in Java, because Java does not support multiple inheritance. Multiple inheritance means one subclass extends more than one superclass. Okay, so in Java, one class can extend only one class. Okay, this is important. In Java, one class cannot extend more than one class. The meaning of that is, in Java, one class can extend only one class. Means with respect to one superclass and this one subclass we can say. But the other way is, it is correct. In Java, one superclass and we can take any number of subclasses. This scenario is correct. One superclass and any number of subclasses. But here, one subclass and any number of superclasses. This is not possible in Java, but it is possible in C++ language. Okay, so how do we achieve multiple inheritance in Java is through interfaces. This is interview question. Java does not support multiple inheritance, means one subclass cannot have more than one superclass. Okay, the meaning of this is, in Java, one class can extend only one class. One class cannot extend more than one class like this. That's why Java does not support multiple inheritance, but we can achieve multiple inheritance through interfaces in Java. So the solution for multiple inheritance is interfaces. So I will explain in interfaces how do we achieve multiple inheritance. Okay. So here remember, in Java, one class can extend only one class. Means always write class A extends B or class B extends C. Or here if you take class car extends vehicle, class lorry extends vehicle, class bus extends vehicle, means one class is extending only one class. It is correct in Java. Okay. So one class cannot extend more than one class. That's why Java does not support multiple inheritance. This is the scenario for multiple inheritance. Okay. Next, what about hybrid inheritance? Hybrid inheritance is a combination of multiple inheritance and multi-level inheritance. But here it is a combination of multiple inheritance and multi-level. No? Java is supporting multi-level inheritance, but Java is not supporting multiple inheritance. No? So when it is not supporting multiple inheritance, what is here? It is not supporting hybrid inheritance, because hybrid inheritance is a combination of multiple and multi-level. Okay, so that's why the Java does not support hybrid inheritance also. Okay, hybrid inheritance means this one. So this is, if you see the upper part, it is what? It is correct only, no? Okay, so here multiple, in this diagram we have multiple and multi-level. Okay, so Java is not supporting multi-level. If you take the upper part, it is correct only. It is single level. Means here one superclass and two subclasses. It is correct only. But if you take the lower portion, that is here only one subclass and two superclasses. So here it is multiple inheritance. But we are saying Java does not support multiple inheritance. Because of this, it is not supporting hybrid inheritance. Okay. So Java is supporting only 3 types of inheritances. They are single level, multi-level and hierarchical inheritances. So with this, we completed types of inheritance. After that, we will write program on each type of inheritance. First, we will take single level inheritance. Already explained one program now, that also comes under single level inheritance. Is it single level inheritance? I will show you the diagram. This program we have written now. So employee, only one subclass, not subclass, superclass. Here in this diagram, only one superclass, and we have 3 subclasses. So this is single level inheritance. Okay, so the first program we have written now. I have taken only one superclass in this program, and I have taken 2 subclasses. They are manager and accountant. Both are extending employee class. So this program is also under single level inheritance. Explain single level inheritance with example means you can write this program. Take manager class as, take employee class as superclass, and take 2 subclasses for employee. They are manager and accountant. Okay, so it is a program on single level inheritance. I will explain one more program on single level inheritance with variables and methods. So the process, what is inheritance? The process of getting variables and methods of one class into another class is called inheritance. Okay, so this is simple program, you can easily understand. So single level inheritance. Here I have taken class A, which is the superclass. Next, draw the diagram first before writing the program. So here my scenario is like this. I will take one superclass A and I will take 2 subclasses for that superclass A. The subclass names are B and C. So here the diagram is A, then B extends A, upward arrow, and C extends A, upward arrow. Means A is superclass and B and C are subclasses of A. Okay. For this diagram, I am writing this program. With this, we can understand more clearly inheritance. So this is superclass A, class A. Inside the superclass, I have taken one instance variable, and the instance variable is initialized with the value 10. Next, one method, that is M1. Inside the method, I have written only printf statement, that is ASM1 method. Okay. So here, how do we describe the class A is? It consists of only one instance variable and one method, and instance variable is A and method is M1. So this is the superclass code. Next, after that, I will take 2 subclasses now. The first subclass is class B extends A. So inside the class B, I will write the code which is specific to this class B. Now what is that code? That is, this is the own code to this class B. So what is the own code to class B is? Again, it consists of one instance variable and one method, that is M2. Okay. So this is the code which is specific to class B. So because of this extends keyword, the code which is available in class A is inherited to this class B. Okay. So what is the code of class A? One instance variable A and one method M1. So here class B contains its own code as well as its superclass code. That's why we can assume in class B we have 2 instance variables. They are A and B. And we have 2 methods. They are M1 and M2. So this is the advantage of inheritance. So in class B, we have not written this code, but it is inherited from this class A. Using which one? Using extends A. So the advantage is code reusability. Without writing the same code again in class B, we are using this code in class B also. So this is the concept of code reusability. The advantage of inheritance is code reusability. Once you write the code in superclass, in any number of subclasses, we can use the same code. Okay. Next we will go to the next. Here I have taken, okay, here I have taken only one superclass and one subclass, not two subclasses. This is also correct, no? Here the diagram is A superclass, next B subclass, upward arrow. Means here there is only one superclass and only one subclass. So subclass can inherit the code of its superclass. Okay. So in subclass we have two variables A and B. We have two methods M1 and M2. But in superclass we have only one variable and only one method M1. Okay. Now we will see how do we create objects for superclass and subclass, and how do we access the members of superclass and subclass inside another class. So class test public static void main. Now first I will create object for superclass, but it is no use. It is of no use. So always in inheritance try to create the object for subclass only, because through subclass object we can access both superclass members as well as its own class members. That's why try to create objects for only subclasses in inheritance. But for your understanding, I am explaining with the superclass object also. Actually, it is not necessary. Okay. Now, but initially, try to understand with superclass object and subclass object. Now, first I will create superclass object. You know the syntax, no? So A1 is equal to new. After that, system.out.println A1.A. What is the value of A1.A? Already, whenever this statement is executed, from this the control goes to the class A and the default constructor, because here there is no constructor, no? So the default constructor is provided by the compiler for this class during compilation time. That is A. Inside that the instance variable is initialized with 10. Means A is equal to 10. Already explained this concept. First it will check whether that instance variable is initialized by the programmer or not. If the variable is initialized by the programmer, it will take that value only inside the default constructor. That's why here the compiler provides A no arg, inside that small a is equal to 10. Means one object is created with this statement, A1 is equal to new A, that is A's object is created. Inside that A is equal to 10. Okay. After that, and that address is assigned to this reference variable A1. Means A1 points to this A's class object, and inside that object we have A is equal to 10. Now I want to access this A with this reference variable. How do I access? Already I explained, with reference variable we can access the members of that object. That's why A1.A means the output is 10. After that, what is the next statement? A1.M1 means on this A's class object I am invoking M1 method. What is there in the M1 method of A's class? This will be executed and the output is A's M1 method. So if you see the output, first 10 A value and A's M1 method. Okay, up to this with the superclass object I am printing this. Now next I will create object for subclass. What is the subclass name? B. How do I create the object for subclass? Is again same syntax. B1 is equal to new B. Okay. First it will go to the B's constructor. So here we have not written any constructor. That's why the compiler will provide constructor for B class during compilation time. So here B no arg, inside that here how many instance variables are there? 2, no? So A is inherited from its superclass and B is its own variable. That's why inside the object for B, it will put both the variables A and B. So A is 10 and B is 20. That is the B's class object. Okay. So whenever this statement is executed, this one object is created for B, and the inside that the variables A and B are stored and the values are assigned 10 and 20. So A is 10 and B is 20. And the reference variable for that object is B1. After that, I will access the members of the B class. So, you know, no? What are the members of the B class? 2 instance variables A and B. One is inherited and one is its own. And 2 methods are there for B class or for class B. One is its own method and one is inherited method from its superclass. So here B class contains 2 instance variables and 2 methods M1 and M2. Now through the subclass object B, I can access 2 instance variables and 2 methods B1.M1 and then B1.M2. So this is the advantage of subclass object. Okay. Through superclass object, I can access only 1 variable and 1 method. No? But through subclass object, I can access 2 variables and 2 methods. That's why always create object for subclass in inheritance. Okay. That's why the answer will be 10, 20 and next A's M1 method and B's M2 method. Because why it is A's M1 method? This method is inherited to this class now. This method is inherited as it is to this class. That's why what is there in this method? A's M1 method now. That's why through subclass object, you will get A's M1 method. And then its own method. That is this method B1.M2. M2 means B's M2 method. So like that you will get A20, B, A10, B20 and A's M1 method, B's M2 method. So this is the simplest program to understand the inheritance concept. Okay. Now in the same way you can write the program for this scenario. Here we have only 1 subclass, 1 superclass and 2 subclasses. Okay. B is inheriting the code of A and C is also inheriting the code that is available in A. Same way, see this class A I have taken as it is. See class B also I have taken as it is. What I have added in this program is I have added 1 more class C which extends A. Okay. Now in this C's class I have taken 1 variable, okay, and 1 method. These 2 are specific to this class, means own code. Okay. Now what I have written, int C is equal to 30 and void M3. In the printf statement I have written it is C's M3 method. After that take class test. Inside that create superclass object, but there is no use. After that first subclass object. What is there in class B? In class B we have 2 variables A and B and we have 2 methods M1 and M2. So by creating object for class B, we can access 2 variables A and B, 2 methods M1 and M2. So this is subclass object, that is B's object. So with the subclass B's object, we can access 2 variables A and B and 2 methods M1 and M2. Similarly, create here it is not there. Similarly, now you can write the remaining code in your notes. In the same way, I will create the object for which class? Class C. This is also a subclass now. Again, I will create 1 more object for class C. So how do I write? After this, write C1 is equal to new C. So this is C's class object you write here. So with C's class object, that is with C1, I can access the members of the superclass and subclass C. So what are the members of the superclass? This class C. So class C extends B, no? That's why the variable is A and method is M1, no? So inside class C we have 2 variables, they are A and C, and 2 methods, they are M1 and M3. So by creating the object for class C, we can access 2 variables A and C and we can access 2 methods M1 and M3. So here you continue this program, it is not there here. So here what I will write, C1 is equal to new C. After that system.out.println C1.A plus space C1.C. So here A and B are available, but here A and C are available. After that C1.M1 and C1.M3, because M3 is the method which is specific to C and A's class method is M1, no? Now that's why here the variables are A and C and the methods are M1 and M3. So by creating the object for class C, we can access 2 variables A and C and we can access 2 methods M1 and M3. Okay, like B's object. So here write 3 more statements, then close the main method and close the test. So what are the 3 statements? C1 is equal to new C, system.out.println c1.a plus space plus c1.c. After that c1.m1. Next statement is c1.m3. Okay, that's it. After that close the main and close the test class. So with this programs on single level inheritance completed. Okay. Next class we will continue. So next class we will write the programs on multi-level inheritance. And if you want to write program on hybrid inheritance also, we can write. Okay. So with this we have completed single level inheritance and the concept of inheritance.